Okay, we're on the pool. Everything's bog standard. Group should be stacked on purple. That's a fucking ugly stack. Purple is of course slightly over from the centre. If you're on the centre, it's too painful when the weapon hits. Warbringers come out when he's got the boss. Get some threat on the Warbringers. Kill the weapon quickly. You've got some nasty damage going on in the background. The weapon's about 200k a tick. Doesn't help. But everything's dead before War Song, which is when it would get painful, so that doesn't matter. A few havocs coming in from the background from Impatient overkilling the engineer there. Iron Star's going past. Daru is blowing his Devo. Farsi has come out. I interrupt the first lightning with my Avenger shield, which I was pooling for it. One of the melee gets the chain heal there. And I will get the second chain lightning, if he stays alive long enough, with my regular interrupt. There's less than 15 seconds between them. Everyone's neatly stacked for this, much better stacked than last time. Killing the weapon. You see Remorseless Winter going off there to break up some of the damage. You do seem to be able to manually out-threat their focus target, so we're doing that. Second Iron Star comes past. We've already pushed Garrosh. I'd rather that a bit more damage was done to Garrosh or the ads than Garrosh, but whatever. Second Devo Aura there to get us through it. Everyone stays in. If there had been a weapon up, we would have DPS'd it down in that window between 10% and him going back up to 100. Because any damage done there is wasted anyway. Going into the intermission. Go in, first cast, interrupted with Racial. Impatience taking out those two ads. Stun to interrupt as the second cast from the high health one. Interrupt with Avenger's Shield. There's no white orbs here for us, so we've got to rush to get with the other groups. We wait until the purple is actually down on the ground, and then we trigger it, so that everyone actually gets the shield. Tanks can stay in, provided they run cooldowns. I've got Guardian of the Ancient Kings and Unglyphed Divine Protection up there. Once they run out, just DPS normally. I don't see it happening, but normally we'd use Mana's Healing Tide there to top everyone up. Veltgard derps and stands in something. No point resing him until we get out. It's just too dangerous. Now we res him. Weapon group goes out to the right to bait the weapon. First weapon. Everyone else is stacked tightly. Pulling over so that we're going to be parallel with where the next second weapon's going to be put. Break out the first MCs. Tanks just keep moving. Whirling Corruption is going to be next, so all the range are getting over into position somewhat early. And the melee hoof it out. Veltgard jumps. Dead goes out with AMS up. You've got 6 seconds now before this next desecrate, so the melee and that need to get in fucking quick smart if they're going to get in. And everyone needs to be in tight by now, and here comes the weapon. Pull down, so we're going to be parallel with where we want the third weapon to be. MCs are coming next. MCs. Weapon baiters are out for the third weapon. Everyone else is stacked in tight. In fact, no, all the range is out. We've got the Whirling Corruption, then the weapon. And melee are out. And because the whirling, it always happens in this order, having a brain fart there. So everyone needs to wait. The weapon gets thrown, and then everyone moves. You can't afford to have melee running back in and have the weapon end up on your laps, because melee are not going to get back in the time window. We're staying where we are because we're in the corner here, so the fourth weapon is just going to be tucked into the corner. Just at the back of screen is the wall. You can't see it, but it's there. And Desecrate Weapon number 4 is going out into the corner, rapidly followed by Whirling Corruption, so that's all the range running out to meet, and then all the melee trudging out, and they're stacked up against the back wall, blowing healing cooldowns. I'm telling them to slow DPS at this point because we do want the intermission, and they're ignoring me. But we don't accidentally push, so it's all good. We just found that the timing of DPS CDs and all the rest works out much better if we don't push. He pushes at 10%, so we left him at 11.4% there. You can make it a little bit easier on the healing by pushing, but you won't have all of your DPS stuff nicely synced. Dead Scumbagging a bit of runic power there. He gets feared when he gets hit by that, but I assume one of the healers is just dispelling him immediately. Elevator music time. We're going to be going in the opposite direction when we come down. I've pulled 5 holy power, you'll see, because I've got the boss, so I want to get all of my mitigators up quickly. And 5, 4, 3, 2, bingo. Beta group runs out. We're moving him down a little bit. Desecrate Weapons coming 4, 3, 2. We stop moving briefly. Everyone tucks in tight. Here come the weapon. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And this is about the position where we want Garrosh to be. Break out the MCs. Everyone runs out for the first empowered Whirling Corruption. We're still in phase 2 here. We're only ever going to have to deal with 2. That is a rule. Empowered Whirling. Everyone spread out in that back corner. Not standing in the purple shit, dealing with their own little ads. Not the neatest job on the ads there, but the tanks managed to get the empowered ones. And the weapon has been dropped, and so everyone's back in tight. Finish off that last minion and push Garrosh over to 10%. You can have another MC there, you might not get another MC there, it doesn't really matter much either way. Everyone's stacked, and the beta group is out. The key thing is that you don't get a second empowered whirling during that phase. That's the DPS check for there. And the desecrated weapon goes out. We're in phase 3 here. Boom, everyone comes in, stacks. We've got MC coming next. We're pushing the boss hard. We've blown Lust. We could use Lust twice, but this is the DPS check we're concerned about, so we save it for this and just use it once. Whirling Corruption is going to be next, so the range is getting out already. Winnie's got the boss, so I'm going to be able to move over and get better coverage on my Devo. Melee getting out. Everyone's dealing with their ads. You are going to have to deal with the ads here. A Windwalker is not going to be able to kite these ads for long enough. You'd need a Brewmaster. The weapon's gone out. It's nicely positioned. The ads are being dealt with. We've still got one floating round, but he's on his lonesome, so he's not getting powered up, so that doesn't matter. MCs have gone out. And we're going to have another weapon here, so the baiting group is getting out at this point. Everyone else is staying tucked in tight. Doesn't really matter where the weapon goes as long as it's not in our laps. There it goes. Everyone else is in tight, and we're pushing hard. And we push it just before what would be our third Whirling Corruption overall, second Whirling Corruption of that phase. That is the wipe condition. We've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at the 2 empowered whirlings prior. It's just a wipe. If we get a third, it will always be a wipe. It's much too big a pain in the ass to deal with. You get a weapon and Sharlings and MCs and fucking everything happening at once. Okay, so we've swapped phases. I cancellated the cinematic. There's an enforced break for a little bit. I pick him up, pull him over. The group is going to be slotting in, standing on his ass. This is exactly as per Vox, or probably Fat Boss, I don't really remember. But if you want to see how it's done, watch the Vox vid. Malice is going out, everyone's nicely stacked and dealing with it. That's the first one. The core bombardment timer on my DBM is wrong, by the way, it's way out of date. They're dealing with Malice in the background. There is no need to tank swap on this. It's a flat single tank time. The only time you're going to have a rough period with tanking, doing it as a single tank, is the stacks during phase 2. Although, here's Cold Bombardment, so we're moving over to the second position, and at about this point everyone's latency goes to 2,000 or 3,000. Boom. When he just had the Iron Star run up his ass, blew up Impatient and nearly killed him and a few others. And most importantly, we now no longer have an Iron Star to interrupt the manifest with, so we're just fucked by Blizzard at this point. Testing, testing, testing.